the guy that turns up at your parties. Dropping the hit, got me Shararti. Coming to see like a tsunami.
Hello everyone and welcome to an episode of Haraami United. Afsar, how you doing?
All good, man. All good. It's been a while.
It seems ages since we've done a Haraami one, especially, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had a couple of big ones. We had obviously the supporters club.
Yeah,
Ismail and Hassan from Pakistan.
that
was Abraham Munde, and then obviously we had Riz Rahman from the PFA a few days ago.
Yeah, thank you, Riz, for taking out your time, man. Busy guy. If you haven't listened to it, please do listen to it. It's quite inspirational, actually. A lot of nuggets that we didn't know about. It was good to hear. But somebody who's lived and breathed the game, as you know, as an Apana.
I just can't believe we found an Apana Pep Guardiola.
Yeah,
the story with his dad.
I was gonna say, so if you want to know what that's about, go tune into Brown Monday. It's all there. But yeah, man. Like I said, it's been a while since coming. Do you know what I mean? And I've been busy myself. Obviously, I've been on holiday. Even I'm just watching at the moment, The Gentleman, the Netflix series as well. Do you know what I mean? You haven't watched it, have you yet?
I've not watched the series. I've watched the film.
You watched the film, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which I haven't watched the film.
You
And
need
I
to,
started
bro.
watching
You
the
need to.
series. I know everybody's saying I think the film's the prequel to it. So it's good to watch. But just before we continue as well, shout out Brian, Mo Bean.
I was like, where's this going?
Oh man, like, you know what I mean? Again, going back to Netflix, because again, Mo Bean is something I've been watching over the last couple of weeks as well. I haven't watched it.
Mo Bean's a classic, man.
Guz Khan, man, hats off. And the
Proper
cast in
proper
there.
cov.
Yeah, man, commentary. Look, we're gonna, Guz, if you listen to this, we want you on to the show. The main thing I want to know is the rumors. Is he a Cobb fan or is he a Man United fan? It might not be either of them.
See, I've heard both, and then when we got drawn in the FA Cup, which we're going to come on to in a minute, when we got drawn against Coventry, he posted like it wasn't the crying emoji, but it was like the sad one with a tear. So I was like, what's like? Is he torn between two clubs, or is he like? Is he hurting that Coventry have got to face United? Like, what is it?
Well, you know what? I think if it was me, I think I probably had to shed a tear as well because I think Coventry would do good against us. You know what I mean? I won't be surprised if they knock us out. But you know what? It's been that long that we've done Haraami United one. We've not even spoke about that game that got us to the semi-final against Coventry.
What do we say?
The Liverpool, just in case, I'm sure everybody's still, riding that wave, high wave, Liverpool v Manchester United, or should I say Manchester United v Liverpool, the game at Old Trafford ends in 4-3. What a game, man. What a game.
Absolute madness. Just, it was everything you thought that fixture could be and more.
I think that fixture literally had everything in it, didn't it?
You had the
goals,
goals,
extra time,
the
sendings off, late goals,
red cards.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, the only thing he didn't have is penalties, but I hate penalties anyway.
I don't want to think about what would have happened if we went to penalties.
I knew what I was gonna do. I wasn't gonna watch it. I wasn't gonna watch them. I always remember the 2008 final as well, the Champions League final. I watched it. I didn't watch it. I was in the room upstairs. My family were downstairs watching it, and I was upstairs because the TV was below, and I could hear what was going on. But I just didn't watch it. It's, I haven't got.
I mean, to be fair to him, Ronaldo didn't watch it either.
Well, yeah,
he missed his penalty.
I was gonna say he missed.
I don't blame him. He was on the floor and just. I think he must have known from the roar of the crowd that
yeah.
Terry slipped.
I mean, you get to know. Like I said again, obviously I didn't see it, but obviously the cheers downstairs. I thought, yeah, we've done this one. But yeah, going back to that Liverpool game, what a crazy game, man. I mean, excuse me, it kind of encapsulated Manchester United. I want to say over the last season, but to me, I think it's. I don't know actually if it's the right way to put it, but it's almost encapsulated to me the post Fergie era. Do you know what I mean? There's so many highs, so many, like that game. We started off brilliant to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we have a new manager, we always do well to begin with, other than David Moyes. But we start doing well. Then all of a sudden we have a dip. Do you know what I mean? We get a dip. 2 goals, such shit goals as well to concede. And then we get a great goal near the end. Hats off to Anthony. He's been ridiculed. So he scores, levels it up. They score again. Liverpool, and it's like, oh man. Do you know what I mean? And then what we score those 2 goals, and it's quite ironic that it was that Rashford as well. He got his goals in there. People slating him.
Well, even just before he got his goal, he put one wide, didn't he?
Yeah. That would have been offside anyway. You know what I mean? If
Yeah,
you look at
like,
it would have been.
If you look at how far it went wide, and you just think like, at that moment, I was like, yeah, it's done.
Yeah, I was just in my living room, and I had family come around actually, and they just knew that because we were losing at that point, just to kind of stay away.
Harps isn't going to talk to us today. What are them
No,
ones?
yeah, they know. Everybody in the family knows. Do you know what I mean? When United are here playing, do you know what I mean? Either I won't turn up to functions, or if I do turn up to functions, I'll be on my phone watching the game, or at home. Do you know what I mean? I won't go anywhere. But yeah, and then obviously, then right at the end, Amad Diallo scores and things like that. It was me and the older 2 kids, and we were just roaring. We were just celebrating, and everything, the whole house kind of knew, what the score was. But then I also sat there thinking, man, how can people not watch football? Do you know what I mean? And just thinking like, where else do you get that kind of sports in general? I suppose where do you get that kind of, do you know what I mean? Reaction, the what's it called?
The passion, the
emotion,
connection,
the emotion. Do you know what I
emotion.
mean? There's nowhere else you get it, man. So it was brilliant. But yeah, 2 weeks ago, because we've just been talking, haven't we? The international break, and you was like, "Wow, I think we've got another week or so." Didn't you think there's another week?
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's another week, and then we're back, and apparently, no, it's over. So yeah.
No. Believe it or not, it's 2 weeks. But you know what? I think it is because we won, and the way we won against Liverpool, it's almost like bloody hell. Do you know what I mean? Finally, we've actually got to end on a game that we win. Ted, how you doing?
How you doing, boys? You're right. Sorry, I'm a bit late.
Nothing surprising.
eating, Tej?
It's eating a kebab, no doubt.
What you eating?
No. It's a bit of a lazy midweek food today. A bit of a cheat meal. Having a bit of a Subway, mate.
Subway.
Subway. Can you
Of
believe
all,
it? Of all the things you could eat, we were a little bit late from work and had a few things on. And
Tej, Akil would be disappointed in you. That's all I'm saying.
Why? What's wrong with the Subway?
Just what's right with the Subway?
Mate, a Subway was one of them ones when you were at uni. Do you know what I mean? Not even at uni. I think it was at college. Do you know what I mean? Where you just started your 12 hours a week job, and you try to be independent, but you ain't got much money, so you used to go to a Subway. Like, do you know what I mean? And Tej, I know that's
get
not
the
the
student
case with
discount.
you. Yeah.
No.
I know that's not the case with you,
Me,
man,
I'm a massive advocate for home cooked food, but work-life balance took over this week, and just had a few things on, so had to settle for a Subway, but can't complain.
No,
But I do think they don't fill you up anymore. They don't really fill up the sandwiches like they used to.
Mate, I think that goes to food and everything in general. I don't think it's just Subway. So we're not going to diss Subway. Subway, if you are listening, you want to prove us wrong, send us some
We're
sandwiches.
open for sponsors, by the way.
Yeah, send us some free sandwiches. We won't mind. But Ted, just on cue, really. It's we're just talking about the Liverpool game 2 weeks ago. It almost seems like it was almost an age ago. Obviously, I remember us. We've just been saying, I've just been saying, we were celebrating the older 2. We were just going crazy, the emotions, and all the other groups were popping off that were in. But I think you were the only guy who was kind of subdued.
Very subdued. Very, very subdued. Yeah.
That surprised me.
I think
We've
Eric
just
Ten
beaten
Hag.
our biggest rivals
Mm,
at home to get into the
Yeah.
semi-final. Against your other team.
Yeah.
Why subdued?
I think I'm always real. I think anyone who knows me has listened to me on this podcast for all the time. I'm opinionated, occasionally obnoxious, occasionally a bit deluded, but I'd like
At
to
least
think
he
I'm
admits
always
it.
real. I like to think I'm always real, and I don't follow the crowd ever. I like to give my opinion. I love it when the people who've given the sheep opinion come back with their tail between their legs and say, "Actually, Ted, you were right. Oh, Ted, you were right." But let's not get into that.
Harry Maguire, yeah.
Oh, let's not talk about him. Let's not talk about any of these. I just think Eric Ten Hag. It's baffling me. It is baffling me, and it's upsetting and frustrating to see that this Dutch masterclass man is struggling to implement a style. Now, forget the quality of these players. Forget anything like that. Just talk basic principles of football. I'm watching it, and it feels, Harps, like I'm watching 11-a-side, dissy Indian pub team with a good striker, a hit and miss good midfielder, and three dissy centre backs, and one good wing back. That's what it feels like to me, and it feels like the keeper's been on the glossy. It feels like the keeper's been on the glossy the night before. He's been in Mooch Bar, and it feels like, what I mean, he's been on a wobbly one, and it depends on his mood. If he just say he went to the Guddar on the Saturday, we know he's going to perform well on the Sunday. But this looks like Anana looks like he's on the session most weekends. So for me, I'm very disappointed. I'm happy with the result. Disappointed in these players' performances, and it all boils down to the manager, the coaching staff, because I'm not seeing a style. I'm not seeing an identity. I'm not seeing enough. And I know we can talk about the top all the way down, but I was very subdued because I thought we should have lost that game convincingly. We were very, very poor, but I think we were lucky. I think we were incredibly lucky. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we play really well on the 7th of April, show a bit more, but lose. And as daft as it sounds, yeah, I want to see a bit more style. I want to see what Eric Ten Hag's got. There's no point talking about this year. This year's done. If we get top 4 by miracle, so be it. And yeah, we might get to the FA Cup final. But I'm on about Eric Ten Hag now. You're fighting for your job. You're fighting for your future. Let's see what you're made out of, because your away record is abysmal. Your record against the big teams is abysmal, and you are not showing enough in 2 and a bit years of what you're doing, in my opinion, and that's why I'm very subdued about it all. Sorry, it sounds very negative.
1 and a bit years, Ted.
Yeah, 1 and a bit years. My apologies. Let's not split hairs.
What about another 2 years as well?
I was going to say, where's the extra year come from?
Okay, no, that's fair. Like you said, that's your opinion, and like you said, I think the rest of us were just happy. I think we all kind of know how shit we are, but we're just happy that we beat the arch enemy as such. But I don't know which way to start with now, because I was going to talk about England. Obviously, it's the international break.
Let's go. It feeds in.
No,
there's links there.
No, exactly. Because I know Teddy's views, and I'm going to get on to them. I am going to start with Kobbie, actually, because Kobbie played quite well against Liverpool. Again, I've said it here before as well. I knew how important he was going to be just by from the League Cup final win that we had last year against Newcastle. You just saw Eric Ten Hag going, celebrations happening. He's won his first, cup. Man United haven't won anything for ages, but he makes a point to go out to a youngster called Kobbie Mainoo, talk to him, looks like he's putting his hands around, obviously either talking tactics or whatever he was talking about.
While everyone else is going crazy celebrating, yeah.
And normally he'd
dialed in.
Yeah, I'm assuming he would be the same as well, because he just won. At least he's got that monkey off the back where he's won something, where for, first time in ages the club has. But yeah, so to me it shows 2 things: A, the belief that he had in Kobbie Mainoo, but B, how much he wants to succeed at Manchester United as a manager. So he should be celebrating, like you said, but he's focused on the game. But yeah, going to Kobbie. It's quite ironic actually, because I mean, I don't know. Did you watch the games yesterday? Yesterday one.
Well, as you know, I hate watching England.
I watched it.
I watched it, but it was more. I paid more attention when I heard, Kobbie's been subbed on
Do you mean against
for
Brazil?
Yeah, for Brazil.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then
that
I
was
watched,
this Saturday.
obviously, Belgium game as well. And for Brazil, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, in general, with the England side, I was like, this is meant to be our quote unquote next golden generation. You know, Harry Kane, Foden, Rashford. You know, all these stars you've got in this team, the likes of Trent as well. And let's be honest, that Brazil side is crap.
No,
I think it's been quoted as one of the
disagree.
worst Brazilian teams in many time.
It's not the Brazil of
Generation.
old.
It's not the
let's put it
Brazil
that
of
way.
old, but people need to be realistic with these friendlies and understand that there's a lot of things. A lot of these players are not going full tilt. A lot of these players are not going 100%. A lot of them are faking injuries. A lot of them have got other fixtures in their minds. I mean, you know,
Are you
how
talking
many
about
players?
the City lads there?
I think
I'm
Arsenal
talking about. I'm thinking about City, Arsenal, and you know what?
Conveniently, all the City lads walked out of training, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm telling you, these players ain't stupid. Gary Neville did a little piece on it recently where he goes, Ferguson would say to the players, right, 3 year going, 3 year not. Listen, this has been happening for years, this sort of period, yeah. And these players ain't going in full out because they know it's a pivotal part in the season. One, they want to be part of that journey. Nothing worse, in my opinion, being a player at a top club, being an integral part of that club, and then watching your team lift it whilst you're sat there on the bench or injured or not performing at your optimum peak. I can't think of anything worse as a professional. You must be sat there it must be worse than actually not being part of it because you're like, you kind of what, you know, we've all got a little bit of that, you know, a bit of pride about us. And I think a lot of these players in this international break haven't really got that mentality. They were thinking about what's going on next week, Arsenal City game, Liverpool, Brighton, other clubs like that. What's going on, yeah, and so forth. But with this,
so Ted, are you saying to me then players find injuries pulled out because of their club?
I think, you know what, the best way I can describe it to you, Harps, best way to describe it to you is you've got a pre-wedding party on the Thursday night. You've got a pre-wedding party on the Thursday night, Harps, and your missus has said to you, go on then, go play football, but I want you back straight on time. I don't want you getting injured. You see me, and you've got an opportunity to lay one on me, knowing that, hang on a minute, you might bruise your butt and bruise your leg at the same time. Let's be honest, you're going to let me off the hook, ain't you? You ain't going to tell, you know what, I want to enjoy my glassy tonight. I want to relax. So I know that's the best way I can describe it to you is you're not going to go full pelt because you're going to be thinking about your Thursday night nudged up and you're going to be thinking, oh, you know what I mean? I've got Friday off. I'm meeting the lads. I'm going to enjoy my football. That's the nicest way I can put it because I don't want to start bashing, you know, certain members of clubs because we don't know the ins and outs. But I think it's obvious to say that a lot of these players weren't performing at their optimum peak performance, and a lot of them were thinking about the other games that are coming up. And a lot of these players, nothing worse than getting injured on international duty when they could be lifting a Premier League trophy for the first time. You know what I mean?
Only you, Ted. I don't know how you come up with those examples, but Afsal, I mean, okay, so because we're talking about England, and we will come on back onto Kobbie Mainoo, but because we're on this conversation now, so Ted, you're saying these players have, you know, left the England squad for whatever reason, injury before games or injuries during game because they want to concentrate on their club careers. You know, they might be dishing out medals at the end of the year and they want to be part of that. But then the flip side of it is, are they not then endangering their squad plays in the Euros?
Yes.
I don't think they are.
I said Afsal, Ted.
I don't think they are because when a Southgate
so Ted thinks they are, you don't think
any
they are.
sense of rotation.
Oh, nah, that's a harsh statement, man.
He's got his favourites.
No, I think you know what it is with him. What I do admire about him, I do think he looks at a whole professional, looks at the whole pros as a whole, and he thinks, what can I bring in harmony to this squad? Who can I rely on? Who do I not rely on? And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Henderson does still go. I wouldn't be surprised because he's probably thinking over the years, reliable, good pro, good person to have around the dressing room. And then I'm looking at, you know what I mean? I'm looking at certain players like Sancho. Would he risk it now if he picks up some form for Dortmund? No, I wouldn't be surprised. And then you know, he might come back, he might score, he might not. I just think.
I think we can
it does
rule
matter.
Sancho out. I don't think Sancho's going to the Euros.
I mean, all this Ben White saga, like Ben White, it's a bit of a weird one, this whole Ben White thing, because I kind of get why he didn't want to go, but for me as a player, he's like giving up, thinking Trent's ahead of me, Walker's ahead of me, Tripper's ahead of me, it's just a waste of time. But knowing that you could still be a part of that, I don't know. I think he'll regret that.
He was in the tournament and he left.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, in regards to him now pulling out these friendlies, I think it's a bad
Was
way.
he even called up? Ben White even called up?
Yeah. So you not read the articles? So there was Southgate's
I
come out
think
and said
he's
there was-
walked away from England like permanently.
Yeah, he's walked away.
No, he has.
Yeah.
So he walked out on England in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And then Gareth Southgate has still invited him back.
No,
He
didn't walk out. He walked out now. He's invited.
He walked out in the World Cup as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he walked out in Qatar.
Yeah, no, he did. 100% he did. He didn't get an injury or remember it was all mysterious. So he walked out of the England.
Yeah, because they were like, "Oh, something's happened. He's had to go back home to his family or something." Which it could be a personal matter, but
but he wasn't
to say that Southgate still gave him a chance.
But he wasn't seen for England for ages. But yeah, and then he's called him up again, and then he's done this again.
But I think it shows that England manager, you've got to be open-minded to change. And you know what? Sometimes you have to look at certain players' form and how they're getting on. And Ben White for Arsenal has been brilliant, and he's doing really well for them. And he thinks that he could do a job for England, so that's why he's probably looking at it. So, and he did say he was just disappointed to see that there was resistance on his side. But I mean, look, the topic of conversation was about what's your thoughts on England? Did you watch the games? I'll just summarize very.
It was actually about Kobbie Mainoo.
Kobbie Mainoo, yeah. So I was going to talk about it.
It wasn't even about England. It was Kobbie Mainoo.
It is
Man of the
beautiful.
match.
It is amazing to see our main boy going into that team, and he's getting loads of praise. But again, I'm very subdued about it all because I don't want it. I don't want too much of it. I want him to just carry on playing football and enjoying it because you know what English media are like. Just as quick as they pile them up, they'll bash them down and destroy them. And he's got a lot of development to do. He's very mature for his years, but he's got a lot of development left to do. I still see a lot of holes in his game as well as positives. And just hope he keeps his feet on the ground.
I'm going to shock you now, Harps.
Go on.
Because I agree with Tej. I don't like. He's right in the respects of the media that they will build them up. You know, the British media have done this for as long as I've been a football fan. They talk about, you know, when I was younger, it was Beckham, Scholes, Neville, Ferdinand, David James, Ashley Cole, you know, build them all up. Then we go to a tournament, we lose, we come home, they're all villains.
Agree.
Yeah. Then 4 years later, same again. Build them all up. Oh, Walcott's come through. Walcott's the best thing since sliced bread. He's going to be this amazing talent. Oh, here's Wilshere as you know, this Jack Wilshere as well. Again, build him up, rip him down.
But do you not think that Southgate has harmonised that a little bit, Absar? Do you not think that Southgate's harmonised that a little bit? He's protected them a little bit more. Because that's what I'm trying to defend the point. I see a good coach, a good person who's actually brought a bit more belief to this England team. And you know what? Apart from the odd story that is always going to break out, like Sterling and Gomez or freaking Foden and Greenwood, like, you know, their escapades. But I think in general, like, he seems to have a good bunch of lads there, and he seems like they all get along. Like, it isn't that rivalry, like club level. It seems like they're good pros. Like, he's brought a bit of harmony to this England team.
Mate, the harmony was
why,
there.
Why do I agree with him?
Well, to me,
you're agreeing with me, Avsar, because you know that I'm coming from a place of logic. I think what it is Harps and a few of my friends are a little bit disappointed in me, which you'll probably agree with Harps now, is because I said
no, right there, Ted. We're gonna come on to that, but we're just talking about Kobbie Mainoo.
Kobbie Mainoo, positive, great to see, love it for England. I just hope now he can focus on his club form. And you know what? If he does go to the Euros, then yeah, so be it. He deserves it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets there and he's not a regular starter.
Well, for me, go on, Afsar.
So look, I agree in the respect that Southgate has brought harmony to the club. He seemed, in some weird way, united the nation in the vast majority. I know people hate his tactics, but whenever England play, they're all in support, right?
100%, and he's got
But
some big
then,
results under his belt as well.
on the other hand, you have occasions like what happened at the last Euros, which I'm sure we don't need to go back into.
Ted, thanks for
Yeah,
burping
thanks for
on,
that, Tej.
thanks for burping on the.
My apologies.
But
Sorry.
like the Rashford Sancho Saka situation that happened, and
I mean, I'm sorry, we'll come
Right.
on to that kind of stuff. We'll touch upon it briefly. I'll just, again, like Kobbie Mainoo was talking about. So, are you of the belief that he shouldn't go to the Euros?
No, I think he should go. I think he should
Ted!
go, but
When did we record Afsal?
question was for
Fuck me,
me.
this guy just makes everything about himself, doesn't he? Just puts
sorry,
stuff
I
on
didn't
you,
hear.
yeah?
I didn't hear you. My apologies.
Exactly, that's the
Sorry.
problem. You never hear.
Is
You always do
it-
your own thing. You never hear.
His hearing's going in his old age.
And he's on a roll. He just wants to come on the podcast. Just then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I gotta go in a bit, lads." Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not Ted.
Look,
Yeah, go on,
for
Afsal.
me, do I want to see Kobbie play for England? Yes. Will he go? Do I want him to go to the Euros? Yes. Does he start? I don't know.
To me, it goes to the Euros. I want him to go to the Euros, and should he start? Yes, he should start. He just shows. I mean, that for me, the three in the midfield that was played that day, Rice, Bellingham, and Kobbie are the ones, because you can just see the interchange. You know, the first time they played with each other, the way they were interchanging, the movements, the way they could, they all could do similar things. They can all defend. They can all attack. They're all easy to carry the ball with as well, and they can turn on the half turn as well. Like, do you know what I mean? So and they can pass the ball through to their final third as well. What
The
happens in the
biggest thing
final
about
third?
that, the biggest thing about that trio is look who he's side by side with. Rice, one of the best in the world in his position, whether we love him or hate him. Like, the guy's a phenomenal talent, and there's not a word to describe Jude Bellingham at this moment in time. He's only going to benefit from that. It's going to push him. Like, I see a lot of there's a lot of positives that can come from that.
Yeah, and to me, I see Kobbie Mainoo, and I thank our lucky stars that he plays for us. He chose us over City. But then I look at it as well and think to myself, you know what? Hopefully we don't waste him. Hopefully he doesn't. He's a bit selfish and thinks about his own career. I know he's a Man United fan. He's been at the club since about 6 years of age. So again, he knows more about the club and what it means to play for the club, etc. And than most of us ever will. But I hope he looks after himself, because the way things are at the present moment in time as a club, I can't see us moving anywhere. I hope I'm 100% wrong. But obviously it's something that we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to give ourselves 18 months to 2 years from what we're hearing. So, we'll give that. But a part of that is, which I'm now going to come back onto, obviously, so many conflicting reports. There's Erik ten Hag will get replaced, but then there's also Erik ten Hag will stay. He'll be here at least summer, and next season he'll be given, because he's got one more year. I mean, yeah, the topic of conversation was always, who do you replace him with? There was obviously the likes of, even Thomas Frank has been named recently. I think that's only because we're playing against him soon, so they're trying to
that's probably
stabilize
'cause
him.
we're playing them on Saturday night.
Yeah, we've had Graham Potter as well.
God.
We've also had De Zerbi linked as well.
Mm.
But I think for the last couple of weeks, the biggest name that's been linked is, and Ted will be really happy now, is Gareth Southgate. And there was even a report, I think, this morning from the Sky Sports. I'd seen it on Sky Sports. I shared it with the lads. There's talking about that Manchester United are interested in bringing the whole coaching staff of England to United. Thoughts?
I'll let Tej go first.
Sure, you didn't put a name on it. Do you want to put a name on it?
No, you go for it. You go for it.
Apologies for interrupting you.
Put a ring on it, man.
It's been a good few weeks, and we haven't had a chat, so I had a few things on my mind that I wanted to get off my chest. But Me personally, I welcome the idea. I do think Eric Ten Hag is on borrowed time. If by a miracle he gets top 4, gets some big results, I'm talking Liverpool at home, I'm talking Chelsea away, Brentford away, Arsenal at home. And you know what? He comes out of that, he claws that gap between Villa and Spurs, gets top 4, really scuppers the Scousers' chance of winning the title, scuppers the chance for Arsenal to win it as well. You know, and gets us to that FA Cup final, which is no excuse. He should beat Coventry, and we should be in a final. I think if he gets Chelsea, I think he wins it. I think if he doesn't, he gets City, I think he loses it. I think it'd be very difficult for him to beat Pep in the final, especially after the scars from last year. But if he does, then, you know, fair play. You know what I mean? He turned a very bad season round. But then I pose the question, do I then trust this man with another 150 million in the summer? And who does he bring in? Because I don't. I think whoever Ten Hag buys as well, I don't think he'll go for like a English player. I think he'll go for a couple of foreign players. And I don't have that belief in him. And why I'm a bit open-minded to Southgate is I think genuinely there's been that much like pressure and that much toxicity in the club. I think we do need someone like that to come in, stabilize us, bring a bit of belief back into some of these players. And he knows a lot of these young players. He knows a lot of them. I think to myself, you know what? It might be that he can bring the best out of Rashford. It might be that he describes Shaw as one of the best left backs in the world. Kobbie, you know, Mainoo, he might be able to really elevate his game. And then I look at the other players around him and I think, what could he do? Could he develop these players? Could he do well? And I wouldn't be surprised if he is the next Man United manager. I think he will be. I think he'll come to Man United. I think the whole of his backroom staff will be. I could be wrong. And a lot of people will think I'm mad and deluded. But you know what? I reckon he could do a good job for us. I really do.
After gone. Being as though you've been agreeing with it, I'm gonna assume you're gonna say similar words.
Right. First of all, why now that he went alcohol free for a bit, did Artej, and he just chatted out a shit. He's now back on the booze, and he's bringing logic to some of his points, and I'm a bit surprised.
So what you're saying is Ted should not stop drinking. He should drink.
Not that I promote anything like that. I'm just, you know, I think I've figured out how Tedge's mind works. But you know my stance on Southgate. I don't want it. I don't see how someone who's only ever managed one club in his entire career and got them relegated, then somehow managed to get the England job, got them relegated from an international league that I'm not even sure the league exists because I've never seen a league table. Like, I see all the points about the harmony in the squad and the relationship with the England players and how we could improve things like that, but it's a no from me.
Yeah, and I follow exactly the same because, like you said, Borough, he got relegated. Even with England, that Italian team that he lost to in the final, they didn't get to a World Cup beforehand, and they didn't get to a World Cup after either.
He lost on
How
pens.
do you lose that? How do you lose that final?
He lost on pens.
Yeah, which he shouldn't even gone to pens. So
he should have never gone.
He's
to
lost
pens.
to a mediocre. He's lost to a mediocre team.
They should have won that final. They and you can say that they didn't. They didn't. That was literally a simple case of just on pens. I think if you're winning it now, then are you saying that then okay he's won it? Then what are you saying?
No, but that's not me saying, oh, if Eric Ten Hag had won the FA Cup, or if Eric Ten Hag would have done X, Y, and Z.
That's why I stated the argument of Ten Hag.
You're judging Eric Ten Hag on what he's done, and he's actually done more in the game than Gareth Southgate has.
Did you hear what I said before? I said that. I said to you, even if Ten Hag wins it, then the summer comes. Do we trust this guy? For me, at the moment, I don't have any faith because I'm still
exactly,
so I'm
and that's what I'm answering as well. So you're asking me ifs and buts. And I'm saying to you, well, you didn't answer ifs and buts. Even if you answered ifs and buts with the Erik ten Hag, you're saying, okay, if he wins everything, gets top 4, you still wouldn't trust him. Well, same goes for Gareth Southgate. He's not won anything. Even if he miraculously somehow wins the Euros, he's still not good enough, because you looked at his CV beforehand. Every time he's come up against a top team, France, was it in the quarters in the World Cup? It got that,
Yes.
was it Croatia in the semi-finals previously to that as well? It lost to them as well. It lost to like Belgium in
Well,
the
the path to
tournament
the
as well.
final in the Euro 2021 as it was played. So we had Germany in the round of 16,
Beat
which
them.
was an absolutely shocking Germany side.
Beat them.
Beat them. Had Ukraine in the quarterfinal.
Beat them.
Did Ukraine ever pose a threat to us?
No.
Then he had Denmark in the semi-final.
Which I
Beat
remember we
them.
just narrowly beat them.
We got past them, but
Just about, yeah.
respectfully, who were Denmark compared to England?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously Italy in the final. So he had quite an easy route. Obviously, look at the draw and everything, and how the brackets played out.
But the other question I've got as well. Sorry, Afsar.
Go for it.
Name me, because I'm not saying this is for definite, because nobody comes to mind. Name me a manager who does well in internationals, or does anything in the internationals, and comes and does something at club level.
That's a really good question. No one comes to mind.
There's got to be.
Tej?
I know Google's. I think Ted is googling somebody at the moment, and that's why he's not responding.
Okay, well
I'm
on.
eyeing up my cheesecake. Actually, I'm not eyeing up my cheesecake.
Flipping hell, he's
thinking
having one hell of a cheat day. He went from Subway to cheat.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't need to get on Google. I don't need to do. Like I said, I don't jump with the crowd hearts. I don't just jump on the bandwagon. Like
I get that, but this is the thing, though, Ted. Yeah, it's not about jumping with the crowd. If that's your mindset, you don't want to jump with the crowd and you don't want to be a sheep, rah rah rah. Then that tells me more about what you're trying to think. You're just trying to go against it just so you stand out, which you're doing a great job of, or you just go
look
with
at things
use your own.
logically.
So you're saying the crowd don't look at things logically, only you
I
look at it logically.
think
I'm telling you, man, the booze has done something to him.
I think the way the media is, I think the way people are, the way it's all portrayed.
Forget the media.
Even TalkSport, even just like general.
Oh, mate,
even
don't even watch any of that though. But we're just talking about. Look, the media isn't doing the results, giving you the results. It's Gareth Southgate that's giving you the results, not the media. Forget the media.
They exacerbate certain things, and they heighten so many scenarios, and they all ultimately.
So why isn't that the case with Erik ten Hag? Somebody who's been successful previously as well.
But you could argue that he hasn't been successful.
So he's won things where Gareth Southgate hasn't won anything. But Gareth Southgate is more successful than Erik ten Hag.
You could argue that last season he was in a season where, do you know what, let's be honest now, he rode his luck a lot. A lot of things went their way in a lot of results. A lot of other teams weren't performing to the same level they should have performed. His away form last year was still abysmal, and he was lucky in a lot of results. Yes, he got to an FA Cup final, got humiliated. But yes, we beat a Newcastle team en route to a Carabao Cup final, and we won that. But again,
we played Barcelona off the park.
Dude, you're talking about a Barcelona team who've gone through one of the biggest transitions and overhaul in their whole squad and club in over 50 years. If you look at Barcelona,
didn't they win the league that season?
Xavi won the league.
They won the league. Listen again. By what I'm saying is, they went for a complete overhaul, and that's the Europa League competition. That Europa League competition, Barcelona didn't put all their eggs into that basket. They were focused on one thing, which was the league, and they won the league. I'm
sure they had all their top hitters out.
No, yeah, they had all the big boys in.
Yeah, they had all their top hitters out.
Mate, I'm telling you. Oh, regardless, I'm not going to turn this into an Erik ten Hag bashing. But going back to what you were saying, Harps, you said, like, okay, then you could say that about media and the bashing of Erik ten Hag. The point I'm saying is, it's been a year and a half. I've been saying since last year. I said, Harps, I've been saying it. I've got it all in the message. I said I'm really worried about Ten Hag, his away form, his style, his identity, and all this stuff. And I kept saying it. And that was even me, Mister, not trying to follow the crowd. I kept saying it, and I didn't want to be proven right. I said to you, I'm worried. And this season, it's carried on. I'm watching them, and away from home, we look terrible. We look shaky. We look nervous. And even now, we're at home. We're being caught out. We like the cracks are appearing, and we lost to Fulham, right? And that game, it just exposed us so much. And I thought to myself, man, he's got big problems.
But
here.
I'll get that. But the bit I'm confused about is, Ted, how you're giving a pass to Gareth Southgate, who's never won nothing, got teams relegated. Well, no, got Middlesbrough relegated, and like Absal said, even in the bloody Nations League, he got relegated out of that as well. And this is a supposedly great manager, okay, but he's got us relegated in that as well, and he's lost in finals, and he's not even got that. So I'm trying to understand the correlation between somebody who's never won nothing and got teams relegated. He's great. He's a good candidate compared to somebody who has won things.
Yeah.
And obviously, even at club level with us last season, won something, but he's not good enough. And I think this question now that we're on the podcast, because I do want to wrap it up soon. I don't want to continue on a bit too long. And because again, you pose this question about playing style. You talk about Erik Ten Hag not having a playing style, but you say Gareth Southgate has got a playing style. Please share that with the audience. What is Gareth Southgate's playing style?
I think personally, just to clarify 2 points that you said, because you've asked me 2 questions there. The first point is, how can you summarize that between the manager? Before Pochettino went to PSG, he was linked to the Man United job. He was linked to other clubs. Why? He didn't win anything. He weren't successful. He took Spurs to a Champions League final. He didn't win anything. But people understood the good coach he was, what he brought to a club, how he developed players, how he got teams playing in a particular type of way, how he didn't stand for no wrong attitude players. He had all good 11 correct professionals. You could argue 14, 15. And then some of those Spurs players, if they had a bit more money, a little bit more investment, they could have gone on to do really good things. But again, he had tight owners and he had other restrictions. But again, he was the man that everyone wanted at Man United because of that
But
reason.
he got into a Champions League final.
Yeah, what I'm saying to you,
it's not about investment. It's about if his team had a bit more bottle.
But I'm sorry, even with him, okay, Pochettino, I don't know why you brought him up. Okay, but we're talking about Pochettino. He went to PSG. The second season he won something. The first year he failed miserably. Then he gets the sack. Then he comes into Chelsea.
And he doesn't look like anything special.
They're absolutely awful. Shocking. You know, do you know what I mean? So I don't get the correlation of what you're trying to say, because
the correlation is you just said, but Ten Hag, why should we go for Southgate, right? Why should we go for a manager who hasn't won any trophies? Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah. And I'm saying to
that was one question, but don't forget their playing style one as well, because I know you're trying to
I think someone like Southgate, look, I'd be open-minded to it. I think he'd come in. I think it'd change the way we play. I think he would. I think he definitely.
What is that style, Ted? What is the style?
I think it's attacking, free-flowing football, but also when we're out of possession, when England are out of possession, have you noticed that they are a very pragmatic side as well?
So you think England are an attacking team?
Yeah, I do. I definitely.
Did you not watch the game against Brazil?
I think you're basing up on a friendly. Where,
okay, well,
like
did you not watch? Okay, have you not watched the other games? Which games?
I watch every England game.
Okay, name me a game in his 8 years, other than look. I'm not talking about North Macedonia or Cyprus or somebody like that.
Or San Marino.
Or San Marino. Yeah. Tell me a team where he's played this attacking style. We were just relentless. Do you know what I mean? We was this attacking team that team just could not cope with us. I'm talking at least a national team. I
think if you look at England's results, Harps. I think if you
I'm asking you which game. You watched all the games. So tell me.
No. So let me ask you a question. Forget friendlies then, but most results that Gareth Southgate has won, and most of them across the board. If you look at the last 30 games, 30 results, they've been over a 2-goal scoreline, at least minimum. That he's won, and is a team that scores goals across the board. Harry Kane, You look at the way he gets the best out of him. Raheem Sterling, all of it's attacking wing play, and now I think he's got a lot of promise with players like Bukayo Saka and stuff like that. And I think with Foden, I think he could do something special with Bellingham as well. But you said, give me an example. It's hard to pinpoint and just say this game, that game, because the questions caught me off guard. But I remember that Germany game, where you talked about it was an easy route, and you said that Germany weren't a good team. We played really well that game outside, and we turned around. That Denmark game, we were 1-0 down. We come back and won 3-1. And at Italy, we were all over them when we took the lead, and Shaw scored that first goal. We should have capitalised on it, but unfortunately, you know what? Maybe that pressure got a bit too much for those players. And you know what? It was the first time it was going to be in however many years they were going to do it. It maybe got the better of them the occasion, but I still think he could do well at United. I still think he'll do well at England, and I think he's done a brilliant job for him so far.
Yeah, no, again,
I think I've just unlocked Tedge's logic.
Yeah, go on.
I think what Tedge's main point is we've tried the winners. We've tried the Joses. We've tried they've had trophies. Ten Hag has trophies. I think what Tedge is getting at, as well as obviously he likes Southgate, is it's a fresh idea. It's a fresh approach.
Mate, you might as well put me and you there. That's a fresh approach. Do you know what I mean? Why not
No,
just try that?
it's not fresh though,
Do you
is
know
it?
what I mean?
Because you guys have got there's a bit of a bias there. There's a bit of
No, you could just fresh approach. But look, like I says, I personally don't get it. I mean, hopefully the the listeners, hopefully they'll get in touch, let us know if you guys can make more sense of what Ted is saying and try and explain that to me. Because again, you talked about Erik ten Hag, having last season teams around him that were in transitions, and he took advantage of it. Then I'm thinking, well, hang on, isn't that the same case then for
Be truthful
Gareth
then.
Southgate?
Be truthful, did you think Erik ten Hag last year when we won when the Carabao Cup got to the FA Cup final and stuff, did you think that Man United were playing a particular style of football that was good and easy to view on the eye?
Yeah, up until the Barcelona game, I did.
And then it all just fell apart.
Literally after that, it just fell apart, like you said. I mean, look at the Tottenham game when we just blitzed them. Again, like I said, even Barcelona, we played really well. So there was a style there. The unfortunate thing is, for Erik ten Hag, he needs his strongest 11 Man United team to play that particular style. You can just see other players haven't got that in them. Even if you look at the game against Liverpool, the first 20 minutes, you can see what we were trying to do, how they play. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, this team, and we've seen it before with multiple managers, and I can't just keep saying the same players. All I'm saying is I've seen the rinse and repeat the same thing happen, and that's how we kind of opened the podcast. But look, obviously we're gonna end it. But before we just end it there, Tej, Brentford away. What do you think the result's going to be?
Honestly, I really don't know. And this will be the answer I'll give for Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle at home, Burnley at home.
Quit sitting on the fence, man.
No, I don't know, because this team, honestly, I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know what to expect anymore. It's a little bit funny, a little bit exciting. And you know what? I just, even when we are 2-0 at our Harps, that Wolves game, I kept saying it, when we were 2-0 up or 3-0 up, I said, I'm just waiting for us to concede. I'm waiting for us to concede. And boom, next thing you know, it's 2-2, it's 3-3. And you're thinking, oh my God, boom, we've won it. So with this bunch, I don't know. They're a really, really weird bunch of players. And I don't understand what's going on. I've got a lot of love for our striker, Rasmus Højlund. I think he's class. I think he's going to be something so special. And I've got a real soft spot for Garnacho at the moment. And there's some key players that I do really like. But apart from 4 or 5 of them, it's hard to watch these players and like them and get excited by them. And like I said, I'm just thinking more about next season now and what it's going to look like. But I don't know about Brentford Harps, truthfully. It could be 3-3, could be 6-0 United, or it could be 4-0 Brentford. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I don't know.
Afsal?
I mean, Tej covered all the bases. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford won it. I think Brentford win it 3-1.
That's Champions League done then, isn't it? If they win.
I don't think we're getting the Champions League anyway.
Yeah, to me,
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Like Ted says, to me, I'm of a similar thought. I go into any game with no expectations. So when we lose, I'm not bothered because I'm half expecting us to lose. When we get a draw, I'm thinking, well, okay, something. When we get a win, I'm happy. So yeah, you know, from what's gonna happen in Brentford, I don't know either. Like, do you know what I mean? But you know, let's see what happens. I think I'm not gonna say what I've said before because I think we all know. But look, hopefully this changes will come. You know, I think Man United have appointed Matt Johnson, I think his name is, for the ladies team, the
Head of
director of
women's football or
head of women's
something.
football. I
Yeah.
think it's an internal appointment because he's already at the club anyway. So I think that's probably one of the first things after official announcement of Ineos that they've kind of done there. So you know, let's see what happens. But yeah, you know, let's keep the positive vibes, Ted. Yeah, we won against Liverpool, although I know you were gutted.
I
Let's
weren't
hopefully
gutted.
let's
I
let's
weren't
let's
gutted.
hopefully against Brentford we win, and we do get that, you know, Champions League spot because we need it for whatever reason. We need it for our money. We need it for the FIFA Fair Play and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But everybody, thank you for tuning in, and yeah, we'll be back with another one soon. Cheers.
The guy that turns up at your party, dropping the hit, got me Haraami. Coming to see like Guz Khan.